We are doing a novel tale of two cities, and I'm going to explain page number 35. At this point, something very strange happened, which was later believed decisive in the outcome of the trial. The counsel means lawyer, for the defense was questioning witnesses who claimed they had seen the prisoner get off the Dover Mill and travel back some miles to where the army waiting to go America were stationed. Another witness claimed that he had seen the prisoner waiting in the town coffee shop for someone. So many other witnesses were called. So one of them has said that Charles Darnay had just he just went to that place where the army of the England were waiting to go to America. Maybe he had gone there to see the nature and the size of the army, and later on he is going to transfer that information to French authorities. The second witness had said that he had also seen Charles Darnay, who was waiting for someone in the coffee shop, and he was doing that in a mysterious way. Maybe he was waiting for some Frenchman to come and collect the secret information from him. So next is page number 38. Suddenly, Mr. Carton, one of the lawyers for the defense, scribbled something on a piece of paper and handed it to Mr. Stryver, the lawyer in charge of the cross examining. Stryver, a large, well fed man who looked considerably older than his years, read the note and prepared to ask the witness a question. So, after all the witnesses against the accused were called, then suddenly Mr. Carton, who was one of the lawyer for defense, he wrote something on a piece of paper and hand over that paper to Mr. Stryver, who was the main lawyer for defense. Mr. Stryver is a fat man and he looked older than his age. He he read that note and he prepared himself for asking the question from the witness. You say that the person you saw was intended indeed the prisoner. You say that the person you saw was indeed prisoner. Quite sure. So he asked the first question to the witness, that you say that the person you have seen is surely Charles Darnay. You are strict to that answer. The witness said yes. He is sure of that. Did you ever see anybody like the prisoner? No, not like the prisoner, that I could be mistaken. So Mr. Stryver asked the witness that how can be you so sure that the person you have seen on that night was the prisoner only? Maybe you have seen some other person who resembles with the prisoner. The witness said he is quite sure that he is the same person that he has seen. Look carefully upon that gentleman. Then Mr. Stryver said to witness, look carefully upon that gentleman. Please see Charles Darnay for one more time. Stryver pointed to his colleague, who at that point removed his wig, though his long dark hair, the same length as the prisoner's, was not as well cared for. The resemblance between the two men was striking. So suddenly, after saying all their words to witness, so Mr. Stryver pointed out towards his colleague. Now he had removed his wig, and the witness was shocked to see that the two men, Charles Darnay and Sydney Carton, they both resembles with each other. Uh, and they were mostly all the facial expressions and all the features were same, only the one thing is different, that is that Charles Darnay had taken a well care of his hair and on the other hand, Sydney Carton's hair was not well arranged. Otherwise, the face is same, the look is same, the length of the hair is same, everything is same. Now the witness is confused. Now look at the prisoner. Are they not almost identical? The witness looked carefully at two men, the lawyer and the prisoner. I have to admit that they look the same. So the witness he became confused after this trick, and he said that I have to admit that they look identical. They are I feel like that they are looking almost the same. Just then Mr. Carton noticed that Miss Mannet's head had dropped onto her father's shoulder and shouted, "Officer, help that young lady. Can't you see that she will fall?" So after this, suddenly Mr. Carton he noticed that Miss Manette she became fainted, and her head was dropped onto her father's shoulder. He shouted in the courtroom that, "Officers, please take care of that lady. She is going to fall." And after that, the officer in the court he helped Dr. Manette in order to get out Miss Manette from the courtroom. The officer of the court helped Dr. Manette to take his daughter out of the courtroom. Soon after, the judge called an end to the court and said that he would announce his decision in 1 hour. So, the officer he helped Dr. Manette, and the people managed to rescue Miss Manette in all these ways, and the officer in charge in the court has announced that he is going to give his decision in 1 hour. So for 1 hour he dismissed the court.